Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to the first web seminar between Qatar and Spain.
Recording in progress.
My name is Samar Abu Farah. I'm a Spanish of Lebanese origin, and I'm the founder of La Difference Public Relations, and also the general manager of Doha Media in Qatar. First of all, I would like to thank the Spanish Chamber of Commerce in Qatar for having organized this event and for inviting me as a moderator. I'm honored to be surrounded of you ladies. Thank you so much for being here. I am, in this speech, what I would like to suggest is that we have a very good conversation between each other where we can try to understand better how things work in Qatar for entrepreneurs and women like me, like myself. In this discussion, I would like also to mention that it's an open discussion. Whenever we do any question, I would feel very happy if you would add anything else or if you would like to speak about something that we are not mentioning, okay? So today I would like to introduce Her Excellency, the Spanish Ambassador in Qatar, Mrs. Belen Alfaro, who so kindly has supported this event from the beginning. Also, Sheikha Alanoud Hamad Thani, member of the Executive Committee, Managing Director of Business Development at Qatar Financial Center, and Young Global Leader at World Economic Forum. Also, our Qatari guest, Mrs. Ibtihaj, is a board member of the Qatar Chamber and President of Qatari Business Women Forum. And Mrs. Irene Vidal, she is the Chief Executive Officer of FMM, which is a joint venture between Qatar Airways and Ferrovial Group from Spain. For the ones who don't know this company, her company provides facility managements in Qatar and has more than 3,500 employees. Well, before we start with the questions, I would like to have one question for all of you in order to let the people and our audience that are watching to know you better. The question is, I'll start with you, Ambassador. What made you choose your career path and led you to become the woman that I'm introducing today?
Well, I have always been interested.
No problem.
Well, first of all, thank you very much. And I would like to thank the Chamber of Commerce for inviting me to this event and especially to be here with two very distinguished ladies from the Qatar business environment. So thank you very much. Well, first of all, I would like also to stress. Well, you asked me why. Sorry.
What made you choose your career path and led you to become the woman you are today?
Yes. So, well, I have always been interested in international relations, and so I thought that it would be interesting to join the diplomatic career, to know other cultures. It's a way to enrich yourself, to know how other people, other countries, how other people live, other cultures, but also I thought that it was very interesting to participate and to contribute to international peace, to negotiation, to conflict resolution, to peace building, to peacemaking, to mediation. And I think that women have some skills, have special skills and some characteristics that are very useful in this area, for negotiation, for peace building, and for peacemaking. So this is, there are each time more women that are in this field, and I wanted to contribute, to put my contribution in this field.
Sheikh Alanoud, I would like to ask you the same question. If you can explain us a little bit about your path and what led you to become the woman that you are today.
Well, thank you first of all to the Spanish Embassy in Qatar and to Her Excellency and La Camara in Qatar for organizing this event. I'm honored to be with esteemed panelists as yourself, and with you, Samar, we have worked previously together.
Yes,
so
it's been a pleasure.
It's always refreshing to see women as well leading organizations and contributing not just towards their local economies, but also to the broader concept of women empowerment. I was born and raised in Qatar. I was educated in the UK, and I started my career in Europe, and then I came back to Qatar. And I think every individual is a makeup of their background and history and upbringing, but I was always interested in economics and especially the development aspect. I think the region needs it, and there's a lot that could be done and needs to be done. And I'm passionate about economic diversification in Qatar and ensuring that what we contribute towards today is going to be around for generations to come. which is why I work at the Qatar Financial Center, because our mandate is to really open up Qatar's economy, help its efforts in diversification, attract foreign direct investment, but also help our local firms go global. And I think this is just the beginning of the journey towards economic diversification. And I mean, the policies, regulations, regardless of gender, that we are working towards achieving is very important. And as a female, I think everything I have just mentioned makes me the person I am today. It's also the great support of the men and the champions I've had in my life who ensured that I was given the trust to basically achieve my potential in this leadership position. And of course, I don't know if I will continue in the same field in the future, but I do agree with Her Excellency that as women, we contribute in a different aspect. We add diversity to the discussion, to policy making, and this aspect of diversity that we add and different perspectives, I think adds a lot to the makeup of what we contribute. Thank you.
Thank you. Mrs. Ibtihaj, if you could explain us about your path.
Thank you very much for having me today with this beautiful group. Thank you, Mrs. Ambassador. Thank you, Ms. Leonie, for your organization and this discussion. It is a great honor and pleasure to be here today to represent Qatari women while addressing this distinguished dignitary. My interaction with you today will be focusing on this crucial role of the Qatari woman. I will not hesitate today to say that today we, the Qatari women, are blessed to live in a society where the honorable leadership strongly believes that women must and should be given their due importance for their positive and constructive contribution to the economy and to the growth and development of Qatari as a whole. Me, myself, as Qatar board member, Qatar Chamber board member, and representing Qatari Businesswomen Forum, very happy to be in this position as a first lady, Qatari lady, to be in the board. Qatar Chamber is a platform for business society where we represent the business society platform in Qatar and abroad through business delegation, through business conferences, and through rounds discussion like this. Business has always been, and has been an interest for me as a background of my family, but I empowered it by education. I did my education was in America and in England. I did my business bachelor degree. I did my master degree in Qatar University, and I'm very proud to go through this education and power it with many other courses and education training. And since then, I started to do my own business. I started with my sister, I started with my family, I started myself, and in general, in Qatar, the business environments give support for women equally as for men. All the regulations support women to be and get into business freely, easily, and with all the supports. And I'm very happy today to talk about women in business.
Thank you so much. Mrs. Irene.
So first of all, thank you for the invitation to La Camera, and I feel really honored to share this table with this amazing woman. And as you are asking me about what made me follow this path and reach the position I am today, I think to speak about today, we need to speak about our choices in the past. And I think the main booster that contributed to where I am now, it was probably a need of self-sufficiency and independence. And I decided that like a strong background in studies, in terms of studies, will help to reach this economic independence. And then that's why I studied engineering, industrial engineering. And then I also realized some studies in Paris and also in a program of management in New York. And along the way, I just was curious and passionate about what I was doing. Always ready to a learning experience, a learning process. And then when I reached a point where I ended this learning process, I was not afraid of searching proactively for a change. And so this is the way I just was jumping from one job to another sector position. And finally, with the time, I realized that I was really enjoying having responsibilities and managing people's resources, time. And so this is what made me take the decision of open also my own business before to come to Qatar. And finally, looking for opportunities, you find a luck, no? Sometimes we say you are lucky, no? Okay, yeah, but you have to proactively search for this luck and with a hard work behind, right?
Completely agree, Irene. There's a lot of work, especially women. They work so hard always to achieve their purpose. Because even though in Qatar, as Mrs. Ibtihaj was saying, they have really a lot of facilities as women to work. Nobody knows about it outside Qatar. Let's say in Europe, we are very ignorant. We don't know about Qatar. I'm talking about myself. Before coming to live in Qatar, there was a lot of ignorance. We receive different messages. We don't know how women are in Qatar. And women here are powerful. They are entrepreneurs. They work in very high positions. They are women that are ministers. Every time we know more about it, right? But I think we still need to communicate more. And I hope this event will help, to boost this information. We know all that gender equality enhances employee engagement, boosts the productivity, and meets the diverse needs of clients and suppliers, plus improves the brand reputation. Ambassador, I know that there are many women working in the Embassy of Spain, because I'm a Spanish and I have seen that for many years. But what about the support to Spanish entrepreneurship? So me, myself, as an entrepreneur, what is the program or the support or facilities that we can get from the embassy if we want to have a company in Qatar?
Well, regarding Qatar and women in Qatar, first of all, before talking about how the Spanish government helps Spanish companies and Spanish women in companies to be in Qatar, first of all, I would like to highlight the role of women here in Qatar. I am impressed. I am impressed by the role that the women play here in the labor work. Women represent 51% of the labor force in Qatar. So it's the highest rate in the Arab world, where there are more women working in Qatar. In Qatar University and in university in general, 64% of graduates are women. In the Excellence in Education Awards, I think about more than 90% of the awardees are women. I'm very, very impressed. In Qatar Foundation, they are committed to have 50% of women participation in their events. So this is also a big step for the support of women. I would like to highlight what Her Highness Sheikha Mosa has made in Qatar in support of women and supporting them in Qatar Foundation, but also elsewhere, and supporting the creation, for example, of the Women's Sports Committee, and supporting women in many different fields. And Qatar is the first country in the Gulf to have appointed a woman minister in 2003. So Qatar, the most advanced country in the Gulf in this area. But this is data, these are numbers, but what I would like to express is that I have lived this myself, interacting with Qatari women, and I am very impressed of how they do startups, very quickly, how they have responsibilities, executive positions, very important, how they own companies, how they are very active. They want to start, I've met many women that want to start more companies or that have very important ones. So I'm very impressed, by their activity, responsibility, in this, especially in this area, in the business. I think there are many women. This is an area where there are many women working, Qatari women working here in Qatar. And then, sorry, regarding your question and about the Spanish government, how we support women that would like to invest in Qatar. So regarding this, Spain, this is a priority to support women. And we have an institute for foreign trade, for external trade, IFEX, and this institute has a platform called Women and Internationalization. So this platform focuses on business women, on executives, on women that are starting with startups, to help them, to facilitate that they have access to training, counseling services, information, and other resources in order to support their international projects. So there's this platform, that, something very concrete, the platform of women and internationalization from IFEX, the Spanish Institute for Foreign Trade. There they can get support. They can get support for the different areas, the different countries where they would like to invest and or make commerce or to do some kind of investment. And this platform also facilitates and supports that the women share experiences, that they share best practices, and also, which is very important, networking. It has also an objective to create a networking and a community of women that would like to increase and to go further and to increase their presence in the international economic area and to create alliances. So this is what you were asking. This is one of the ways. There are also this is the public sector, but of course, there are also many institutions in the private sector in Spain, associations of women, entrepreneurs, of business women at the national level, but also in each region. There are many associations in this region, and also institutes for women, and that they support as well their presence in the economic area. So for the moment, I think I have answered.
Thank you so much. It's good to know that we can have access to this information in the embassy. Sheikha Alanoud, where do we stand on promoting gender equality in Qatar?
Well, I think it's a very important question, and I think each of the panelists has covered some aspects of how Qatar supports women equality in Qatar. I think gender equality is embedded in our Qatar National Vision 2030. And this is basically to allow women to achieve their full potential. Actually, it's not just to allow women, it's to allow both men and women in Qatar to achieve their full potential, whether that's in business, economics, education. And I think education is the basis for all of this. And this is reflected by the numbers that have been covered by Her Excellency. Over 60% of graduates are women, not only in Qatar Foundation, but also in the public institutions. And this sends a very strong message to policymakers as well, that these women demand an environment that supports their needs as women, because they have basically invested their time and their efforts in education, and they expect that the environment would support their needs. Now, of course, there are a lot of policies. I'm not going to cover all of them, but maternity leaves, paternity leaves, spearheaded by Qatar Foundation and the Qatar Financial Center, which sets precedent for other organizations to follow suit.
May I interrupt you? So you have paternity leaves as well?
We do have paternity
because I know about
leaves.
QFC, but I didn't know about the paternity leaves in Qatar.
And the Qatar Financial Center, and maternity leaves are fully paid, but could be extended. So basically, there are regulations that protect women from basically being asked to leave their jobs just because they take holidays for maternity or losing a kid, etc., etc. So policy is very important, and I think that's embedded in the national vision. The numbers of students graduating also gives you an idea of what the country is already doing to support these numbers. At the end of the day, productivity is what contributes to economic growth, and they need to ensure that a higher number of individuals from Qatar are actually contributing to that. But the state has invested heavily, not just in education, but also in the workplaces. as I mentioned, this was covered in the policy and regulation aspect. But I think Her Highness played a very, very important role in all of this. Setting an example, changing mindsets. You know, culture is made by people, and it takes time for people to change. And in Qatar, we have seen this shift in mindset happening very quickly in the last 10 or 20 years. And today we see it not natural for women to work. Before it was frowned upon. Today we see it natural that women are in public positions, setting policies not only on national levels, but also on international levels. We have exemplary examples. For example, Her Highness playing an important role, not just to empower women in Qatar, but through her role in education above all, where the mandate is to educate 1 million girls by 2021. Silatic, which is an organization I proudly worked for in the past, supported women and men as well, and young women to basically find a livelihood, be self-sufficient, to have hope basically for a better future so that they're not basically engaged in other forms of what we're seeing in this region. And I think it's very clear what I'm talking about. So giving hope is very important, and I think our mission as a state of Qatar has always been not just to focus on what's done in Qatar, but also what could be done globally, because it's part of the national values. So education is important. The national vision sets this very clearly. Policies and regulations are very important. But I think also, I mean, Her Excellency Ms. Ibtihaj was the person who established the Qatari Businesswomen Forum in 2000. And this sends a very strong message as well that there are a large number of women engaged in the private sector, and they need the representation in the chambers to have their voices heard, to have their perspectives and the diversity that they add to the discussion heard and acted upon. You know, as I mentioned, some examples of leadership positions. We have, for example, these examples covering various industries. We have them in sports, in the arts, we have them in politics. Not only as a first minister, but we have, for example, Her Excellency Lulu Al-Khater setting policies and negotiating on an international platform on behalf of the state of Qatar as a spokesperson, but also as an assistant minister. We have people in the financial sector, or women in the financial sector, also setting policies and driving organizations in the sports industry, not only as sports people, but people basically running and ensuring that the delivery of the World Cup is going to be done in a manner where it's successful. So I think the country sends a very strong message as well to boys and girls that women are deserving of this support, are deserving of these positions. You know, Qatar does not follow a quota system. All of these examples are women who have deserved their positions. And I think it sends a very, very important message, because this is where you demand respect from the counterparty, which is the man. This is where culture change is done properly, in my personal opinion. And I mean, you know, I think I've covered a summarized version of what the country is doing. If I go on, I can go on forever, but
you even covered one of my questions at the end. No, but it's true that every time you see more women in Qatar having different kind of jobs, you know, like aviation, cinema, art. I mean, it's amazing. It's really amazing what the country is doing. I really wish that we can spread this message, you know, a little bit wider. Because when you come in the region, you hear about it, but when you are more in Europe, you know, it's less. So I think we need to work on that. This is the thing I see. Mrs. Ibtihaj, we see many women working in government positions, as we said, in Qatar, and it's really amazing. But what about the private sector? We don't know much about that. Do you think companies are doing enough for women in Qatar? Because they are watching us, so they can hear us.
Yes, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Your Excellency, Ambassador and Sheikh Alanoud, to cover all about women in Qatar. As Sheikh Alanoud said, women in Qatar everywhere. Her Highness Sheikh Hamad already set the platform, set the infrastructure for women to be in all sectors. And business and economy is one of these sectors. So let me give you just some statistics. The percentage of Qatari women that are economically active is 36% of the total number of Qatari. And this number was surprised by any foreign delegation that they know about it, with all countries, even developing countries. Qatari businesswomen that manage their own businesses reached to 21%. The percentage of Qatari female that hold leadership positions has reached 21%, while those who hold specialized jobs are 54%, because always education was available for women since the education started in the history of Qatar. Higher education, you can see women in more higher education than men, especially in Qatar universities.
How important is education? How important it is.
So Qatari women that are working in technical and professional position represent 31% of Qatari nationalities. So we can see women everywhere. Qatar also in business, women in all sectors. In Qatar Chamber, we represent business society, men and women. Qatar Chambers holds business delegation in weekly basis to introduce them, the foreign delegation, business delegation, to their counterpart here in Qatar. And to, as Her Excellency Ambassador mentioned, for the networking and for getting easier opportunities for business. If you say, you mentioned that other countries, they don't know about many activities of women. I think they know now. It's been 20 years that we are active everywhere, especially business delegation. Women participate in all conferences, all international and worldwide big events and forums, which they represent the businesswoman and introduce the business and the women active in Qatar. They are not only active business-wise in Qatar, but also worldwide. We know so many Qatari women who are internationally active in economy in other countries.
I agree with you that in some countries they do know more about Qatar, but in Spain we have a lack of communication about the women. Yeah. I'm talking about Spain only because I am, as a Spanish, and I was the person who did the Marbella Women's Week. You know, I was the founder of it. I did a lot of congresses for women. And I know there is a lack because myself, before coming to Qatar, I really had a lot of things in my head that were completely wrong. You know, I think we need to improve the Spanish-Qatar communication for women. Regarding US, London, or other places, they really know much more about it.
In Qatar Chamber, we welcome and will be very happy to make a new platform or to even make more events with, which combine Qatari and Spanish businesswomen for networking and introducing all the possible business interaction in both countries.
That would be amazing, and it would be an honor, because sometimes what I see in Qatar, when you go to any event for women, it's either American, either English, either Qatari, but I don't really see the mix happening so much, and this is something we all need to help, to improve. I would be very happy to support in anything, because myself, I would be interested, to have these conversations.
Yeah, I think as myself, I've been introduced to the Spanish products long time ago. You know that the new generation are very happy with and well known about the organic, natural, healthy products. And Spain is one of the iconic countries that many Qatari companies are focusing on, because they really have good field, good experience in this field. And for example, in Qatar Doha jewelry exhibition, I was surprised to see good numbers of Spanish jewelry companies, and there are many others as we see. But as I said, we will be very happy to do more and to push this even in bigger and wider range for products and other economic and business sector.
Thank you so much. Mrs. Irene, I know that you opened your own company of facilities management consultancy while you were in Spain 7 years ago, before coming to Qatar. I also know you lived in different countries, in 6 actually, and I know you have like a global experience, you know, around the world. Your position as a CEO or chief executive officer of a men-related industry like you are, it is every day more common to see women in power, but this position, you know, in men-related industry still is not so common. So do you have any managerial advice, or can you please let us know what needs to be done for women, you know, to be in these positions?
Okay, so I will answer the second question first. So what has to be done, or what needs to be done, as Ms. Ibtihaj mentioned, in Qatar, for example, only 1% of women are in this technology sector. Around the world, I think it's the rates for women in the technical careers are still very low, also in Spain. So I think the work has to be done from both sides, from companies or even governments, and establishing policies for the companies, and also from women, because women needs to generate also more opportunities by choosing also these paths, no, that might drive them to go to end up in this kind of a sector. And for this, they have to be very well prepared, and they have to be also willing to do some sacrifices. Sometimes to balance the family life with professional life is very challenging, and also, I mean, you need to be aware of that. And from companies or governments, I think, as we are all talking about this today, the more and more we are having this support. I wanted just to give you a couple of examples. For example, one is, as Sheikha Alanoud mentioned before, the paternity leave, to help also the woman when they have delivered. Also, for example, in Spain, a few years ago, there is an agency, governmental agency, is CNMV, that is regulating the securities market. This entity recommended to have at least 30% of women at the boards of the listed companies. And last year, 2020, there were like 23% of women in boards in companies listed in the stock market. And I think it's a very important data to see also how these governmental agencies are helping women to get integrated in the sector and in high positions. So, and apart also, of course, from the support, as Her Excellency mentioned before, of the platform ASEX, that is also helping women to get integrated into these sectors. So yes, I think like from both sides we need to. There is a lot of work to do. We are not far from this goal, but still there is some work to do. And some managerial advice. I would say never make decisions when you are under fear, or when you are overwhelmed in emotions, or you need to be like a cold stone and be practical, be rational, use common sense, and then when you are in this calmness is when you really can collect the information, assess the data and the risks, and then make quick decisions. Don't get stuck, move on, close matters. And I think it's very important also to be surrounded by a good team. Is very important, and to treat the people always with respect.
Thank you very much, Ms. Irene. We will learn a little bit about that, all of us. Thank you. Mrs. Ibtihaj, I think we covered something that I wanted to ask regarding, companies registered. You gave us the numbers of women registered in Qatar Chamber. But from these women, also for a person that is not Qatari and she's a woman, she can register in the Qatar Chamber? I will ask you the mic. Thank you.
Yes, all business license is registered in Qatar Chamber. So whoever has a business license, commercial business license, is a member of Qatar Chamber of Commerce.
Okay, whether nationality it is, it's no matter. If they have a company,
Yeah.
they register.
Yeah. We have now other, if Sheikh Alanoud will help me with this, there is another regulation, another platform for the foreign investors, which is Qatar Financial Center, which has different regulation than the Minister of Trade and Qatar Chamber. But in general, all the license, all commercial license are member in Qatar Chamber.
Thank you so much. Sheikh Alanoud, we know that your organization is really supportive with women. You just explained about the paternity leave. That I didn't know, but I'm very proud of it. And I know that you follow very strict path, when it comes to gender equality. Do you have any company registered by women in Qatar Financial Center?
I mean, the Qatar Financial Center represents various industries, but
Yes.
mostly the financial sector and the professional services industry. And we set precedent in the state of Qatar when it comes to number of women in leadership positions in these industries. So above 30% of our companies or the senior functions of these companies are led by women. Now, we don't support each separately, but as I said, we do it through our regulations and our environment that is world-class when it comes to regulations, the business environment, the one-stop shop, the ease of doing business, and the English common law environment that we offer as a complement to what the state already offers to businesses. Now, the Qatar Financial Center, maybe I mentioned this, but was established 15 years ago to help Qatar with its economic diversification efforts, mostly focusing on certain industries. These are basically, I like to always summarize it in two terms: anything pertaining to white-collar type of employment and the services aspect. Maybe I'll cover a question that you didn't ask, or answer this, because I'm sure there's a lot of interest from companies that might want to do business, especially the Spanish companies.
Exactly.
Now, of course, to show our commitment to the Kingdom of Spain, I mean, a double taxation agreement was a few years ago rectified, which supports basically bilateral trade. We have a Spanish Business Council formed under the Qatar Financial Center to help support basically an inflow of investments from Spain into Qatar and vice versa. I mean, as the Qatar Financial Center, we are independent jurisdiction, as Ms. Ibtihaj mentioned, with an independent rules and regulations on almost everything pertaining to the center. So you can think of us as a mini state within a state. And we're onshore capability, which means that companies can do business throughout the state of Qatar and out of the state of Qatar, but they are limited by the permitted activities that they can operate in. Now, when it comes to support for women, we are proud as the Qatar Financial Center to have an independent immigration policy that follows ILO standards. So if you're aware of the ILO standards,
Yes,
these are very much supportive of women and equality in the workplace.
I had the pleasure to meet them with people from your team.
Yes, so this is one example of how the Qatar Financial Center supports its client base regardless of gender. But the maternity leaves, paternity leaves, the flexible working hours, I mean, with COVID, the pandemic has really set a new way of working. The future of work is at a question mark, I think, for a lot of organizations and even countries at a policy level. Should people be allowed to work from home? We, as our example or experience as the Qatar Financial Center, have seen that in some cases it has increased productivity, in other cases it has hindered women, because then they have the burden of, being the caregivers at home and overworking or basically adding the job and making it double because of their responsibilities as a mother, wife, sister, etc. So it's a two-edged sword, and I think this is where policy needs to protect and ensure that women can achieve their highest potential through these new innovative solutions, whether they're pertaining to the future of work or to regulations and policy. In QFC, I mean, we have a room dedicated for breastfeeding women that they can use during working hours. I mean, the state of Qatar has a law that basically allows working mothers, especially those that are breastfeeding, to take 2 hours off per day for a certain number or a period of time. So really, I mean, the environment in the state of Qatar beyond the QFC is very much supportive. As I said, I think personally it falls down to culture, change of mindset, and the opportunities are there. I'm not saying it's easy. We need more women in leadership positions because the data is much less, but I am sure we will achieve that with other forms of support, where you have male champions supporting women, where you have opportunities that support women's needs, and takes that into consideration so that it allows them to basically be the mothers and the working sisters and wives and so on. Now, other than that, as QFC today, we are over 1,200 firms from a diversified portfolio that cover a various verticals within each of the industries that we target. These are limited to 5 main industries, but 32 permitted activities. So if we're talking about sport, media, the digital industry, fintech, and localization, all of these have certain incentives in place that support, whether male or female, to basically tap into our accelerator programs in partnership with the Qatar Development Bank and the Ministry of Commerce and Industry. Let's take sports as an example. We have a dedicated accelerator for sports technology, where it's a myriad of organizations supporting this industry, from the big champions such as Belen to the Aspire Zone Foundation, to incentives in place, to direct funds dedicated to those startups that make it into the program. If companies want to target this industry and benefit from the burgeoning opportunities available in the state of Qatar, because we believe that Qatar is already a sporting capital beyond the World Cup. I mean, we host over 180 sporting games per year before the pandemic, and even with the pandemic, of course, this has been reduced, and this is a global phenomenon, I believe, but it already shows you that Qatar has the opportunities beyond the World Cup. Qatar winning the bid to host another mega event in 2030 is an example. It's bidding for the 2032 and 2036 games as well. Is another example that the opportunities are flourishing. But what we do as the Qatar Financial Center, and complement to what Her Excellency mentioned with regards to the supports they offer to Spanish businesses, is we have dedicated teams that work with our clients, help anchor them with opportunities in the market, help share database of opportunities, help ensure that if any policy advocacy is required, we do it on their behalf, if it makes sense and it has basically value to the economy. We keep adding to our permitted activities in line with global trends and economic trends. And as you know, I mean, the pandemic has really shifted industries and what the future of the economy could look like. I mean, the digitalization that happened in less than a year, really, I mean, we were not expecting it. It would have taken 20 years if the pandemic had not hit Qatar and the world. So, I mean, these are some of the examples that I encourage our viewers to basically check our website. And I think the supports, as I said, are available. It's very refreshing to see that in the financial industry, having a high number of women in leadership positions, managing and running these organizations also shows you that these companies are pioneering and are able to do what they want to do. But more needs to be done. And that is beyond the QFC. It's basically up to us as a society, globally, not just in Qatar, to ensure that, male get the supports they need to the needs that they have, and females get the supports for their needs.
Thank you so much for all that, Sheikh Alanoud. Very interesting to know more, about what to do in Qatar, how to do it, and what's the help we can get. I am sure that maybe when we post this video, thanks to the Doha Forum, they're going to help us with that. I think we can put the names and the websites of both, and also the ISEX and all the information that we are talking about. I think would be very interesting for the audience. Mrs. Irene, what are the biases that you had experienced as a professional along your career?
So, so far, in more than 20 years experience that I have, I didn't face, honestly, too many biases. Maybe a couple of incidents. I would not say nothing happened, but the thing is, I don't pay too much attention to these things. Like, honestly, I'm really focused at work. I'm focused on what is important. And when you are a hard worker and reliable, and you are just results oriented in an environment of work, it doesn't matter if it's a man or woman. At the end, you get the things done. You don't need to worry about this. Yeah.
I wanted to ask you one more question because I had a question for Sheikh Alanoud, but she already covered it. So it's perfect. No, it's perfect because, otherwise it's too many questions. When you cover everything, it's good for us. Mrs. Irene, I believe some women do not take the decision to move to a Muslim country. And many times it's because, there's a lot of misleading information, as I said before. Also, it's very difficult to leave your country, your friends and your family, your comfort zone, to move to a Muslim country when you don't know about it. So can you please tell us about your experience when you moved to Qatar, as a Spanish, how did you adapt to a very different culture?
Yeah, so maybe it's because I lived in 6 countries or 5 countries before, and I didn't really felt face any special or particular difficulties. I was more focused into the good things on the country. I was really positively impressed by this country. The contrast, the amalgamation of the cultures and the nationalities, the balance between tradition and the modernity. This is amazing. I think there is no other country that is reaching this level of balance between keeping their traditions and also welcoming opportunities and modernity to the country. I was really impressed with the vision of the country, like projecting 2030 pillars for the whole country, all the sectors. I really enjoy working with so many people and learning from them as well. And from the personal perspective, I find many friends, like local people, expats, all kind of nationalities, and everybody is very, I have to recognize, open-minded, friendly, and very kind. So my experience so far is very good. It has been very intense, but it's really good. It's really good, and I would recommend anyone that is thinking about it, please come, because it's a really great experience.
Thank you so much. It's good to give positive news to Spain. Well, I have an open question I would like to ask to everyone a little bit, because we have 5 more minutes. So I'll start with our ambassador, Her Excellency. I would like to know what had been the biggest challenge or challenges in your career? Because I know, I saw your CV, of course, and I know you've been in a lot of other things previously before coming to Doha. So can you tell us about that? Did you face any challenge that you can share with us?
Well, I think that women have to face challenges always throughout their career. So this is something that is always there. But you just have to have confidence, be sure what you are doing. So I think this is maybe an important thing for women to take into account. But I don't think main challenges,
May I ask you, you've been before, I know you've been in New York, but I think also in Pakistan, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes.
Can you tell us a little bit about that? Because it's very different from Qatar.
Yes. Well, but I have been posted in Pakistan. In these 2 years, I was deputy ambassador. But I don't think I had more challenges than there when I was posted in. Sorry.
Thank you.
Yes, I was posted in Pakistan for 2 years as deputy ambassador, but I don't think that I had more challenges there than when I was in Brussels, working at the mission of Spain to the European Union, or when I was in New York, working at the mission to the United Nations. So I don't think I had any special challenges when I was posted there. And then here also it has been easy. So it's very nice to work with the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, the Chief of Protocol, Mr. Fakhru is excellent. I would like also to highlight the Deputy Minister for Foreign Affairs and the Assistant Minister for Foreign Affairs and the spokesperson, Mrs. Lulu Al-Hatter, and also what she is doing with the Doha Forum, which is an opportunity also for many women, because there are many women represented in the Doha Forum that they participate there. So, I think that women in general, they always have to face challenges, but not more in some countries than others, or not more in some areas than others. I think that this is something uniform. But, well, you were asking me this. I don't know if I can make something make
Yes.
a point on what has been said before, because
Of
very
course.
interesting things were said, and maybe I would like, if I can, to make a comment.
Sure.
So, because also here, well, first I have raised the issue of the Doha Forum and Assistant Minister Lulu Al-Khater, who is doing a very tremendous job with women. But also here we have representatives, Sheikha Alanoud from Qatar Financial Center, and Mrs. Ibtihaj from the Qatar Chamber of Commerce, the only woman in the board in the Chamber of Commerce, and also the head of the sector dealing with the health sector. And so they are, I think, and we have a Chamber of Commerce of Spain in Qatar, but we have also a new mechanism, which is the business committee, Qatar-Spain. It's a joint committee that was established last January, and between the businessmen associations of Qatar and Spain, the president from Qatar, the honorary president is the president of the Businessmen Association, Sheikh Faisal bin Qasim, and the chair, this is the honorary president, and the president is Sheikh Khalid Thani bin Thani Al-Thani, from the chairman of the ESDAN group. And so together with the similar organizations in Spain, it was established in January, but at the time I was present, but also the Vice Minister for Trade for Spain was present. She's a woman. She was present there. Also the Director for International Organizations from the Spanish Business Association is a woman. So I think that maybe, as a next step with this joint committee is, and it was also suggested by Mrs. Ibtihaj, to have some kind of joint visits, joint trips, also together with Qatar Financial Center. Maybe there are also associations of business women in Spain. So for my part, I think that I will facilitate contacts between these associations of business women in Spain and the Qatar Financial Center and the Chamber of Commerce of Qatar. I think this is important. So this is maybe a next step that we should be doing, to have these joint meetings between women from both sectors, from both economic sectors, from Qatar and Spain. So, and I will support it as a conclusion, I think, of this meeting. Thank you.
Thank you so much for all the support. We are taking notes about everything you said, and we will try to share it with everyone as well. Well, we don't have much time. I just wanted to ask a small question, a quick, brief question to all of you. Mrs. Ibtihaj, how do you see yourself in 10 years?
I love what Ambassador said about we love challenges. Yes, we do. Yes, okay. Yes, Mrs. Ambassador, we do love challenges. I think challenges and obstacles adds positive and good addition to our CVs. Without obstacles and challenges, we wouldn't be in the places that we get in. Qatar is a country, a peaceful, friendly country that welcome everybody. We are the future business hub of the world, not only of the area, of the world. Qatar has already established all the infrastructure to welcome investors from all over the world. Qatar Financial Center, Qatar Chamber, Ministry of Trade, Qatar Free Zone. So, and more coming. 2022 is another platform that really is a business economic platform also, with tourism, with sport, and this is all business. Business everywhere in Qatar. We welcome everybody. Myself, I love what I'm doing. I always continue to doing. We can't ever stop. I don't think there is a stop, as long as there is passion for this. And I do love my career. I love my country, and I always want to support and be part of what is going in Qatar, which we all are proud of. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Her Excellency, where do you see yourself in 10 years? This is a personal question. If you see yourself on the beach, laying down and retired, you can also tell me. It's a joke.
No, I see myself in the same, to tell you the truth. I see myself working in international relations, working for peace building, for peacemaking. I think that these areas are very, very important and that women should have a greater role in them. And so I would like to contribute supporting more the conflict resolution, the resolution of conflicts, helping in mediation, helping in peacemaking. If we raise this issue, I would like to make maybe a comment, because we see many things when there is talk about women in this area. Before there wasn't any talk about women, like in negotiation, mediation, peace building, never about peacemaking. And then when there started to be some talk about women, it was always about maybe peace building and more about how can women contribute to peace building, but it meant, with the children in their houses, teaching, educating the children, in the communities, supporting peace in a general way. But it was never the image of a woman participating in a negotiation for a peace deal, for a peace treaty, peacemaking, always peace building, never peacemaking. So I think these are very important areas. I come from the diplomatic sector, so I'm focused in these areas, although this is something about economic issues, and I'm also, as ambassador, this is also another area, and I am supporting business between Qatar and Spain, and think that one important aspect here is to support women in the economic sector between Qatar and Spain. So I'm also doing this. But if you ask me for the future, I think I will continue in these areas, contributing to the same peace building, peace making, and also contributing for international economic relations, and also contributing wherever I will be, contributing for women in the business area, in all the sectors, supporting them so that they reach further, so that they have greater asset, greater stage in the future for all women.
Thank you so much. It's very inspiring. No woman wants to be in 10 years seeing herself doing any passion, like something that you always leave for after work. Everybody wants to work. You see, the women power is there. I can feel that. And this is something about women. We are very determined. When we want something, we just want to achieve it. Sheikha Alanoud, what about yourself?
Well, it's a very theoretical question. No one knows what's going to happen in 10 years.
I know, but it's just what you wish.
But I mean, I can't echo it better to what Ms. Ibtihaj and Her Excellency have mentioned. At the end of the day, the country has given us so much, and it is our duty as public servants to give back to our country. I see myself working in my trade, which is economics and development, contributing towards international economic development, setting policies not only on a local but regional and global perspective, representing my country on international platforms, and also I aspire or hope that one day, I'm sure all of you are role models for others, but that one day others can see us as individuals who have not only set precedent for change in our own countries, in our own fields, and our own industries, but that they can look up to us and say, we can also be better and achieve more and contribute towards our country. But I mean, economic development is my passion. I'm very much passionate about politics as well. And at the end of the day, whatever serves our country, whatever positions our country in the way it deserves to be positioned is what I aspire to work towards. And Qatar, as Ms. Ibtihaj mentioned, is already an economic hub for international investors to look at it not only as a market that looks inwardly, but I encourage a lot of the investors to look at Qatar as a hub for regional activity and global activity. I mean, the regulations are in place. It is a world-class legal, regulatory, tax, and business environment. It is a country that has always relied on global expertise, and we are proud of that. And I think this has been echoed by speeches given by His Highness and by others in the country. And I mean, we have examples here of foreigners contributing to Qatar's economy as well, and we rely on this expertise. And this is why we are opening up our economy for global expertise. So whether it's for business, whether it's for tourism, whether it's for any other reason, I encourage everyone to come to visit Qatar, to experience our hospitality. We welcome you for the World Cup in 2022, before that and beyond that, inshallah. And thank you.
Thank you so much. Mrs. Irene, I think in 10 years I see you already in Qatar, because it's so encouraging what they said.
Well, I know I have only 30 seconds now to answer the
Oh,
question.
don't worry, please. Go ahead.
So I agree with my colleagues, honorary colleagues, that I see myself working. If I need to think about myself, there is a lot of uncertainty. I cannot tell you where I see myself like a dream. I think I will be doing business as I'm doing now because I love this. It's a passion. So if it's a passion, it's kind of an addiction. So you cannot stop doing this. I don't know if it will be in the same sector or if it will be another sector, or if I will be in investments. I don't know. But for sure, I will keep doing I will keep in this path. I see myself also with family, and I see myself balancing a little and enjoying life, because we are talking a lot about business. But I think also it's important to know a certain level, a certain age, also to enjoy life a little, try to find more balance.
That's what I wanted to hear. Finally, somebody is thinking of it. This is the Spanish blood. Thank you so much, Mrs. Irene. It's also very inspiring. It's true, we need to have a balance. In order to really perform properly, we also need to meditate, to breathe many times, be patient, and to go on with our businesses. So, dear ladies, it's been a pleasure to have you all here today. For me, it's been an honor. I hope we can do much more, to help everybody to understand better the relation between Qatar and Spain. I would like really to engage with all of you for the next step. Maybe with the ambassador, we can talk about it and see what would be the next step, so we don't stop here. I hope this will be a first step of many others. I would like to thank one more time the Spanish Chamber of Commerce in Qatar for this opportunity. I would like to thank also the Doha Women Forum for helping us today to organize this, and also the Hotel Ritz Carlton. Thank you all. Muchas gracias. Shukran. Hasta pronto.
Thank you.